Elon has long been reputed to have a little drug problem, little problem with the special K. On the campaign trail, Elon Musk juggled drugs and family drama. This is according to a recent report by the New York Times, although you might remember the Wall Street Journal wrote about this all the way back in January 2024. Elon has already responded. This is what he had to say.
I'm so wasted.
So I think he was probably just kidding around. As Elon Musk became one of Donald J. Trump's closest allies last year, leading raucous rallies and donating about $275 million to help him win the presidency, he was also using drugs far more intensely than previously known, according to people familiar with his activities. Mr. Musk's drug consumption went well beyond occasional use. He told people he was taking so much ketamine, a powerful anesthetic, that it was affecting his bladder, a known effect of chronic use. He took ecstasy and psychedelic mushrooms. And he traveled with a daily medication box that held about 20 pills, including ones with the markings of the stimulant Adderall, according to a photo of the box and people who have seen it. It is unclear whether Mr. Musk, 53, was taking drugs when he became a fixture at the White House this year and was handed the power to slash the federal bureaucracy. But he has exhibited erratic behavior, insulting cabinet members, gesturing like a Nazi, and garbling his answers in a staged interview. Mr. Musk and his lawyer did not respond to requests for comment this week about his drug use and personal life. He has previously said he was prescribed ketamine for depression, taking it about every 2 weeks. And he told his biographer, I really don't like doing illegal drugs. As a large government contractor, Mr. Musk's aerospace firm SpaceX must maintain a drug-free workforce and administers random drug tests to its employees. But Mr. Musk has received advance warning of the tests, according to people close to the process. SpaceX did not respond to questions about those warnings. So Elon was asked about this during his farewell send-off, he's a jolly good fellow event in the Oval Office. This is what he had to say.
The president mentioned that you had to deal with all the slings and arrows during your time at Doge. There's this.
Well, some of the people, some of the media organizations in this room are the slingers.
Well, so there is a New York Times report today that accuses you of blurring the line between.
Is the New York Times, is that the same publication that got a Pulitzer Prize for false reporting on the Russiagate? Is it the same organization?
I got to check my Pulitzer. My Pulitzer
I think
counter.
it is. I think the judge just ruled against the New York Times for their lies about the Russiagate hoax, and that they might have to give back that Pulitzer Prize. That New York Times. Let's move on.
Okay, then
next
President
question.
Trump. I got one for President Trump. So President Trump.
Okay, now what you can't see all that clearly in that video is, when you're denying a drug problem, it's best not to be sporting a shiner and to look like you haven't taken a shower in the last few days. But yeah, he's got a shiner. He says that his son, named X, that's not at all an indication of a drug problem in and of itself, is responsible. Now, Keaton, you're a dad. Do you find that plausible from a 3-year-old? To give you that kind of a shiner? I mean, I guess in theory,
it could
maybe
happen. I mean, yeah, it could happen. But given the preponderance of other evidence, I would say it's very unlikely.
I would say Sinclair probably did it. Sinclair? Yeah, his baby mama there. Okay, so if now this video, listen, I've done my share of drugs. I've been around drug people. If you have an explanation for this behavior, other than that Elon is tripping balls here, I'd like to know what it is.
It's a very sad case. It's a case we win.
Well, see, this is what I mean. Like, given this, I would say it wasn't the kid who gave him the black eye.
Yeah.
But
This is the end, my only friend. The end. Can you picture what will be? So, he's fucking wasted.
Rally, stand up, be American.
Come on, man. Come on. This guy's not wasted. He's not wasted. He's fine. That's not drugs. Yeah. No, it's totally normal. All these cameras on you in the Oval Office to be. Yeah. He's not hallucinating there or anything. He's not wondering when he's going to get to take a pee because of his bladder problems caused by his drug addiction. So, yeah, I think we could pretty safely say, given all the reporting, this is not the first report of this. Elon probably has something of a drug problem. So here is the Donald being asked about this. Nah, I didn't know anything about his drug problem. Yeah, we did some lines on Epstein's plate. Oh, I'm not supposed to talk about that.
Elon Musk's regular drug use.
No, I wasn't. I think he's fantastic. I think Elon is a fantastic guy. And
Are you troubled by these reports?
I'm not troubled by anything with Elon. I think he's fantastic. Did a great job. And, Doge continues. And by the time it's finished, we'll have numbers that'll knock your socks off. It's going to be, he did a fantastic job. And he didn't need it. He didn't need to do it.
He didn't need to do it. That $9 billion, that's every man, woman, and child in this country is going to get. I'm sending them a nickel. I'm sending everyone a nickel, and I'm signing it. The whole Mars catalog, given the name, that's a pretty simpy Elon account. Given Elon Musk's business track record, any drugs he's taking should be put in the public's drinking water. I don't know if this guy has been checking out the news lately, but he should look at the earnings report from the first quarter before making that kind of a boast. But Elon actually responded to this. 100. Also, to be clear, I am not taking drugs. Took a page out of the boss's book with the all caps there. The New York Times was lying their ass off. I tried prescription ketamine a few years ago and said so on X. So this not even news. It helps for getting out of dark mental holes, but haven't taken it since then. So according to Elon in this tweet, he tried it per his doctor's prescription a few years ago, hasn't touched it since. So this is Tracy Gallagher here. Really? Don Lemon conducted an interview with you about your ketamine use for the debut episode of The Don Lemon Show, which was recorded in March 2024 and released on March 18th, 2024. Which one is it, Musk? Your former statement today or the one in March of last year? So let's see what he said March last year.
You're inebriated when you do ketamine?
No, if you do a lot of ketamine, then you're inebriated.
Yeah.
If you do a small amount, you're not.
That's my question about do you ever abuse it? That's why
I don't think
asked.
so.
Yeah. So how often do you take it?
Well, it'd be like a small amount once every other week or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay. He just said he hasn't touched it in years. It's almost like Elon Musk is a degenerate, lying crackhead that got set loose in the government servers and now has access to all of our personal information. It's almost like that. It's almost like a crazy, whacked out, ketamine addicted oligarch got all your personal information because he paid for it with campaign bribes. I mean, contributions. So yeah, this was the Wall Street Journal, January 6, 2024. Elon Musk used illegal drugs, worrying leaders at Tesla and SpaceX. Now, his response at the time was that 3 years of random drug testing found no traces of drug use. But according to the Times report, he gets a heads up and a warning. So that's why the drug use doesn't come up. So at this point, yeah, I mean, New York Times, they have an incentive to embarrass him. Sure. There have been enough reports. There is enough smoke to assume there's a fire. And besides that,
Well, it's a very sad case. It's a case we win. We can't
uh,
lose that case.
yeah,
Because we have the right to make
yeah.
grants. We're not going to make
So
any grants like
basically,
that.
a drug
But
addict
I don't think
was
Columbia's
set
been
loose with the
acting very
mission of
nicely. I think Columbia wants
saving
to
the
get to the bottom of the
taxpayers'
problem. They've
money
acted very well.
and
And
just
there are
kind of
other
willy-nilly
institutions too that are
fired
acting, but Harvard's
people
trying to be
on his whim. This
a
guy,
big shot.
this
And
guy
so
decided who
what
should be
happens
working
is
for the
every
federal government.
3
This
days we
guy.
find another 100.
This guy seems very trustworthy, right? So it's worse even than you thought. It's worse even than you thought. Bad enough that Elon just kind of randomly turned things on and off in the government, fired people willy-nilly, but it looks like half the time he was whacked out of his mind on Special K when he was doing it.
Well, that's what money buys. Money buys you certain privileges, right? I mean, imagine this were Hunter Biden, right?
Oh, yeah.
Imagine
Yeah.
what the reaction there would be. Now, that's somewhat a partisan thing, but it also has to do with the fact that, Hunter Biden's not worth $400 billion, right?
Right.
When you're
Yep.
worth that kind of money, look, there's no question about it that Trump and Elon were at odds. I would say since even before the Wisconsin race, but certainly since the Wisconsin race, you saw almost none of him. Elon had nothing positive to say about this bill that Trump is trying to pass, which implements $9 billion out of the $2 trillion dollars that
It's going to save $2
he
trillion.
promised to cut.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
He publicly spoke out in opposition to it on CBS. He said a bill could either be big or beautiful.
Yeah.
It can't be both.
Right.
He recently said there was another piece of sound saying I'm
Yep.
kind of conflicted because I think the full interview may have aired today. I think it was a pre-tape.
Yeah, we'll probably cover that on Jimmy's tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll probably cover that tomorrow where he says, I feel kind of conflicted because I don't want to talk down about the administration, but at the same time, I don't want to be responsible or be associated with what this administration is doing. They've clearly had a falling out behind the scenes, but when you're worth that kind of money and you're dangling $100 million in midterm contributions for 2026, when the Republicans are looking like they're going to need every cent they can get their hands on, because they're not going to be raising much money from the rank and file, not with Joni Ernst out there telling people they're all going to die. That's their message going into the midterms. So they need Elon. And so that buys you a whole lot. It buys you a whole lot.
How else are you going to get to heaven?
Yeah, exactly. They won't turn on him. He's worth too much. He's too big to fail. He's too big to fail. They won't turn on him no matter what.
And he's also trying to save his brand. Like that
Right.
clip you sent me right before we went on. Yeah, like him saying, yeah, I don't want to, I don't want to speak against the administration, but I don't want to take ownership of everything they're doing. That's a motherfucker who's like, I've got to find some way to convince people to buy Tesla
Right.
cars
I need
again.
some Democrats to buy my cars again.
I need some Democrats to buy my car. So if I can convince them that I'm actually not on Trump's side and I don't like what he's doing and I'm fighting him, then maybe they'll buy a Tesla. It's not going to work. He has torched his brand beyond redemption. I've said this before. I won't make any predictions about Tesla stock this year, unlike last year, because his relationship with the administration is such they could announce tomorrow. The Defense Department is upgrading all of its transportation fleet with Teslas. So, and that could, save the company. As a consumer brand, it's finished.
Yes, 100%.
Please clap.